This time, as we get off the curb, we're gonna go on a everyday kind of drive and see what pops up. Because you never know what's going to pop up. So let's start by making a right turn at the first corner up here at the traffic light, watching out for the kids on the bikes. Another bicycle cutting through. A very unsuccessful attempt at parallel parking going on the other side. A full complete stop. No turn on red. 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. School days. It's not a school day. Even though it is a school day, school is not in session on this particular day. And once again, what's going to pop up? Anytime you drive, you never know what's going to pop up. You got a pedestrian or a cyclist on the right, so we know that they're there and they could come right out in front of us at any point in time. We got a no turn on red. Whoop. When pedestrians are present. We talked about that in the last class. Oh boy, another photo enforced light. They're everywhere. And we try not to block the driveway like the car in front of us is doing. And again, remember, anytime you drive, you just never know what's going to pop up. Anything could pop up at any time. Whoa, right lane ends. And we've got a car right next to us. Looks like they haven't had the time to paint the dotted lines there. The lane was ending. I yielded the right of way to the vehicle that was on my left because I did not have the right of way. Anytime you're in a lane that's ending, you don't have the right of way. Let's turn here. And let's go straight across this light. Noticing as we look ahead, we see the blinking yellow lights above, usually indicating that there is a fire station. When blinking yellow lights turn solid red, that means the fire trucks are coming in or going out. We use caution when we see those blinking yellow lights. Now, what's the difference between a blinking yellow light and a blinking red light? A blinking yellow is a cautionary light, while a blinking red light you would treat exactly like you would a stop sign. Got the blinking yellow lights. We got the train tracks up above. And again, seeing all this stuff ahead of time prepares you for what you've got. And it is definitely a fire department, because sometimes those blinking yellow lights are also seen near schools. But that one was definitely a fire department. always stopping for those stop signs, watching for the traffic. Gonna make a left at this light. Again, watching the way the road curves. Look at the lines as we follow the curve of the yellow line. Moving ourselves towards the center of the intersection to wait for the oncoming traffic. Once the oncoming traffic passes, the light's still green, we make our turn, but as we discussed before, even if that light had changed to yellow or eventually red, you would still complete the turn that you began. Once you cross the white line, you're committed to making the turn. Right turn at the light, looking straight ahead at the no turn on red sign. But looking at that traffic light, you also see that that particular light has the additional light, so we're going to keep our eye on it because we just might get a green arrow here. Right turn into the closest lane. Watching out for the possibility that that door is going to open. And then we move along. Bicycle on the right. Talking on the cell phone. That is one thing that we will not be doing in driver's ed. You don't need to learn how to use your cell phone while you're driving. Bicycles on the right. Always be alert. Don't fire until you see the whites of their eyes. As that youngster came across, you could see the fear in his eyes, knowing that he did not make the right move to go driving right in front of us. But we slowed down, we let him go. And watch the cars turning left in front of us. Evidently, the car did not see the arrow and was honked at. Continuing our tour. Sign up ahead means that there is a street coming out from the right. And again, we're maintaining our proper speed control. 40 miles per hour. Reaching a traffic light, we take our foot off of the gas, begin to cover the brake. School speed zone ahead, but again, no school is in session just yet. Note the electronic sign is not on. Okay, the electronic sign was on, but it doesn't matter because we don't have to do the school zone speed because there is no school in session. Coming down the hill, we are approaching the traffic light. Keeping our eyes open. Noticing up ahead, we'll be going underneath the Long Island Expressway. Another person riding a bike under the tunnel. It's very dark there. You ride a bicycle, you should have some sort of a blinking light. A blinking light will notify people that you are indeed there. Just like when they talk about the motorcycles Harley Davidson. Harley Davidson has a saying, loud pipes save lives. The loud pipes of the Harley Davidson or any motorcycle will tell the driver that there is a motorcycle there. Oh, look at this. We've got a merge coming up, but there was no sign. Sometimes you're going to see merges without signs. And that was one indication where the lane, the right lane, ended without a sign. Here you're coming to a 2-lane road off of a 1-lane road. Always go in the right lane. Unless you're planning on making a left-hand turn, you should always go in the right lane. watching the speed, not taking the road too fast, watching the speed on the curves. Trying to time it. Timed it right. Doesn't always happen. Looking ahead, notice how the speed dropped to 30 for the curve. The arrows are pointing sharply to the left, indicating that the road is indeed curving sharply to the left. An area that you could easily lose control on a curve. Oh, those lights are with us today. Approaching the traffic light. Some of these roads may look familiar to you. Some of them may not. And that's the way it is anytime you drive. Some of the roads you drive on, you'll be driving on every single day. And you'll know where everything is. Now, what do we see in front of us here? We see two cars bunched up in the intersection waiting to turn left. One of the most dangerous things you could do as the second driver is enter a blocked intersection. Never enter a blocked intersection. A blocked intersection is an intersection where there is another car already in the intersection. Never go into a blocked intersection like that, because if the first driver has to wait for the light to turn red before completing their turn, the second driver is going to get themselves a ticket. As we approach another traffic light. And approaching this light, see the sign that says right lane ends. So we're going to merge over. Notice that time there were also arrows in the road. Speed limit is dropped to 30 miles per hour. And up ahead, we're going to see something we haven't seen before. We're going to see a crossing sign for a bike path or joggers, trail crossing. So we see that, bicycles or trail crossers. And what we're supposed to do here is stop to make sure that there's nobody approaching and then proceed. Do you have to make a full stop? There are many times where, yes, you would indeed have to make a full stop. So you always be aware of signs like that telling you that there's a trail crossing ahead. Remember, any type of a warning sign, and warning signs are not only yellow and black, they're also that color that we just saw, which was that neon green, can also be considered a warning sign. Not too wide on the turn. And again, a 30 mile per hour speed. Stop ahead. And there it is. Another stop ahead, and this one's telling us it's 400 feet ahead. And there's another one that's telling us that there's a stop sign ahead, because as we come around the curve, there it is, indeed, a stop sign. Cross street on the right does not have a stop sign, on the left did, so that would have been considered a three-way stop. Looking up ahead, we see another one of those neon signs. It's telling us there's a trail crossing. So we're going to be prepared to come to a stop prior to the crossing to make sure that if anybody wants to cross, they can do just that. Nobody there, nobody there, and we move on. You know how it is, guys. There's many times that when you see one sign, then you're going to see the same sign shortly after that. And how are you going to react to that second sign that you see? Getting ready to make a left turn at the light. Notice here, there's no turn lane. There's also no green arrow. So this one's going to require a little bit more skill. Remember, you don't enter the intersection until it's clear to do so. So the first car gets to go. As he enters, we're going to move up. Then we're going to stop behind the line. We're not going any further. We're going to wait for the driver in front of us to make his turn. Then we're going to start to inch up. We'll watch for the oncoming traffic and finish our turn. Textbook left turn at a light. And if they get impatient behind you, don't let that bother you. People are going to get impatient. Don't let that bother you. Approaching another school zone. Sharp curve to the right. Speed limit of 20 miles an hour. Try to take it any faster, and you end up in the oncoming lane of traffic. 17 miles per hour around that curve. Note the arrows on the pole on the right telling us we can go either to the right or to the left. And the divider saying stay to the right. And the sign on the right that tells the people from the right that they must yield. Yield. What does yield mean? Yield. What do you have to do when you see a yield sign? Yield means you must slow down. You must be prepared to stop if it's necessary for you to stop. And the key to the yield sign is that you, when you see a yield sign facing you, you must yield the right of way to the other driver. Many times you will see yield signs, and again, that means that it's your responsibility to yield the right of way to the other driver. So watch out for them yield signs because they're everywhere. Again, we see the speed limit sign of 30 miles per hour. So we cruise along at 30 miles per hour. Approaching a town. And in the town that we're approaching, we're going to see some train tracks. Now, these train tracks are going to be a little bit different than the train tracks we've seen so far, because these train tracks we're going to go right over. And we have to make sure that the gate's not down, the lights are not blinking, and the bells are not ringing. And we will go over the train tracks cautiously. Noticing the sign telling us there's a crosswalk, then the sign for the train tracks ahead. The black and white X right by the tracks is telling us that that is where the train tracks are. So the yellow sign indicates that there is a train crossing ahead, and the white sign is telling us that is where the train tracks are. Another blinking yellow light for the fire department. As we get ready to make another left turn at a light without the aid of a green turn arrow. The ones with the arrows are nice. The ones without the arrows require a little bit of work. As an instructor, I hate it when they get the arrow. I want to see them work for it a little bit. And without the arrow, you're working for it. With an arrow, it's too easy. Now let's change lanes over to the right. Noticing the sign above the road that is telling us that there is a signal ahead. But if it's a red light, it will actually light up red signal ahead. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see it there, but many times you do. As we approach here, we see that the right lane is coming to an end. So we're going to move over safely into the left lane. Looking at the road, you'll see the arrows painted on the road that indicate that the right lane is indeed ending. Merging. Everywhere you look, there's merges. Speed limit on this road is 30 miles per hour. Try not to go more than 32. People around you are usually not too thrilled with that, but again, you do what you feel is safe. We want you to learn to drive within the posted speed limits and be alert and aware of everything. Construction entrance 500 feet ahead. Prepared for it. Where is it? Reduced speed ahead. Again, prepared for it. There's our construction entrance. And train tracks where the cones are telling us we must stay to the right. And then we will go over the train tracks carefully. And let's move over to the left, hoping that we still have the light, of which we do. Gets very narrow going under here, and we want to be careful with this person here, and then we want to just kind of go around them. Sometimes you have to test out the turbo.
Okay, Ron.
All right, and we're off. Waiting at the traffic light, watching for any movement. Pedestrian coming towards us. We're making a right turn at the next light. Always watch your signs. Notice how this one is telling us we're going to make a right, so we're going to go west on Route 105. Right now we're heading south on Route 107. So you always want to watch those signs. Every one of those signs, also, the street has a name. So 107 is Hicksville Road, and 105 is Jerusalem Avenue. As we make the right, we turn into the right lane, and we quickly notice the right lane is coming to an end. So we merge ourselves over to the left. Speed limit on this road is 35 miles per hour. Now up ahead, we'll see a divider in the middle. This time there is no sign. One lane going to two. Stay in the right lane as it goes to two. As we move forward, approaching another light. We notice that the right lane is coming to an end. So we merge over. Throwing everything at you here today, people. There's merges everywhere. Rights at lights, lefts at lights, lane changes, merges. Notice how I'm staying back, not going into the turn lane over the set of yellow cross lines. Watch the vehicle on the left. Some people, I tell you. Like I said, some people. Again, as we approach, we stay behind the white line. Well, now we can go straight ahead with no oncoming traffic. We can complete our left-hand turn. Noticing on the right immediately that the speed limit is 30 miles an hour. Also notice how many cars are in the shared left turn lane, treating it like a turn lane. You're not supposed to go into that lane to make a left turn. You're supposed to wait until the break in the white line at that particular spot. Yet everybody does it the wrong way. a ticket for that? Probably not. But you never know. And here, the left lane ends, but we're in the right lane. We're still going to take a look and see to make sure that nobody's going to try to merge with us. We see the pedestrian crossing sign ahead telling us, state law, that we have to yield to the pedestrians that are in the crosswalk. Car coming out from the left is our target, where we're planning on making our left-hand turn. With no oncoming traffic, we can complete the left turn safely onto the right side of the road. Another four-way stop. No pedestrians around. We can proceed on. And pulling into a parking lot for a moment. Stop.